You're tuned into the My Cool Inventions Network. I shouldn't have jumped the gun, right, Tony? You haven't got the button there. He hit the button, and he missed the first three words. By the way, if you're listening on the radio, I said, welcome back. So now we're going to do some selling secrets. We always take this part of the program. We talk about stuff that's in the news and what's going on. And I guess today's topic, Andrew, is the changing face of, like, the look of stores, brick and mortar stores. Like, what is going on with the stores that we used to go to, you know?
Yep.
Now, you know, I'm a little bit older than you, and we used to live in Burlington, Ontario, and Meadow Hill Road and Cherry Hill Road, right in the corner there. And I used to ride my bike down the road to it was one of the first strip plazas.
Okay.
And what was really cool about the strip plaza, there were stores side by side.
Yeah, that was a new thing.
And the new thing, and we had an overhang, so in case it rained, we could walk from one store to it wasn't a mall yet.
Yeah.
It was just a strip plaza.
Right.
And my parents used to go down there in 1966 or whatever. That was the really hottest, coolest thing because strip plazas was like the newest thing. Putting stores together in a row was a new deal, right? Back in 1966, I guess before then you had to, I don't know what they did, downtown, or I don't know, you walk to different stores and stuff, but now they built a building specifically for this purpose. So then, of course, what happened, they put one on the other side, they go, you know, if we enclose the building, maybe we make a mall.
And there's more people.
And more people would come. In fact, I was in Minnesota, at the Mall of America,
That's pretty
which
big.
I'm told the first covered mall, the first mall ever, is in Minnesota.
Really?
Well, I guess in minus 50 degrees, they said, you know, if we're going to have some shoppers, maybe we should cover this place up, you know, and the snow and the ice. So malls were formed, right? So we got malls going on. And malls only worked when we had these anchor stores. So what we would do is we would throw these big, huge stores at each end of the store. They called them anchors. Right. And of course, if you got enough interesting things in there, I guess that was an outing for the family. Go to the mall, right?
Yep.
Maybe a movie theater, you know.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to catch up to you now because I think when you grew up in that neighborhood, you guys went over to Burlington Mall.
Well, we moved to New Street, which was down a little bit more in the middle of things, and then there was, of course, Burlington Mall, which we used to go to all the time.
Oh, and Appleby Mall.
That's right. I used to walk to Appleby Mall. And then
that was
these
a scary
smaller
mall.
malls. Yeah, they're smaller malls, but it had anchor stores. Maybe it had one anchor store.
Right.
And maybe Burlington Mall had two anchor stores. Now it's grown bigger and bigger, of course.
Yeah.
But that was the next progression in malls.
Right, in malls. And then what happened is the malls started going, now the stores got super big. They became what they called big box stores. You know, the Home Depots, the Lowe's, the Costco's, even the place where you bought pet food suddenly had to be, you know, 10,000, 40,000 square feet. You know, I used to love watching and then the Walmarts came along, right? And then Walmarts became superstores. I mean, I remember that Saturday Night Live sketch. They were making fun of the St. Petersburg, Florida new Walmart, which opened up and it had like, I don't know if you know that store, but it has like 147 aisles. And
wow.
So of course, you know, you walk in that mall, it's a really long way to walk if you're in the wrong section of the store. You know, you got to get your exercise, right? So what happened is then internet showed up, and then it's destroying the way we shop.
Yeah.
So malls are completely dying right now.
Yeah.
In fact, mall construction's all but over, and the malls are dying. In fact, near us here in St. Petersburg, we had a mall called the Tyrone Mall, and they lost their anchors because, you know, Macy's and JCPenney and these guys and Sears. There's some devastations of malls. They're basically what's happening. Yeah, it looks like a horror movie. You know, it looks like the Attack of the Aliens. Where'd you get this, Al? Oh my God! Oh my goodness gracious! How did you get these pictures? He's got pictures of malls that have looked like it's been devastated by some nuclear explosion. They're deserted. There's trees and plants growing inside where the concrete goes, and that's exactly what's happening. And the reason for this, I guess, is that people aren't going to malls for their excitement. You know, they're not going there to hang out anymore. Kids aren't going there to hang out.
Well, how many times do you do this a day?
All the time. In fact, even during television shows. You're going to Amazon, right? You're clicking, and Amazon is killing it, right? So they're doing really well. And what's happening is we don't shop anymore in these big box stores. Right. The other thing I noticed when you walk into a store, here's a little secret that I'll tell you about stores that you probably don't know, is that, you know, when you walk into, like, let's say you walk into I'm going to try to say the local mall here. All right, let's say you walk into the International Mall here.
Okay.
And you walk into Macy's, right? You always notice when you walk into a store, the store layout is directly equivalent to the profit margin. Did you know that?
Okay, yeah.
The highest profit things are the very first things you come in contact with at the front door.
Right.
So if you think about it, in my day, the highest things were always cosmetics. I mean, if you walk into a mall, you walk into a store, it's always the cosmetics in your face, right?
Right.
It's always some girl trying to spray stuff at you.
Right.
Ever notice that?
Yeah.
Drives me crazy, right? On there, but that's the highest profit margin, right? And if you wanted to know what the lowest profit margin item in the store is, all you have to do is take the escalator to the highest floor, because every time you have to go up a floor, the traffic diminishes. So go to the 5th floor. In the back corner, we're furthest away from anything. You know what that is? Televisions. Yeah. TVs and electronics are always on the top floor in the back corner, and always the worst profit margin. So they basically make it the hardest to get to, right? You got to pass everything. The other tricks that these stores were doing, I don't know if you noticed, but I was involved with a guy named McGrath, Ewan McGrath.
Cents.
Yes, cents. They would actually flow the store's traffic with cents.
Yeah.
I was in an Eaton store in Toronto before they went out of business, and I'm walking through the store going, I smell popcorn.
Yeah.
What?
Makes you hungry.
Did you see popcorn? I didn't see popcorn. Is there a popcorn stand? They were actually directing with cents, chocolate and popcorn in different ways. They used to, by the way, they didn't sell popcorn. They just had the popcorn set. Yeah. But they were actually making us move around. And so that's how they used to do it. So they were tricking us and they were manipulating us.
Temperature,
yeah.
Drop the temperature. Like if it would be hot, you'd want to drink more. So you try to find somewhere to get a drink.
You're 100% right.
You should do that.
100% right, because in the food area, it's always hot, and that was deliberately hotter.
Yeah.
So you would actually drink something. And so that's kind of the pattern of brick and mortar. And of course, now the malls are being devastated. We were going to the Tyrone Square Mall. They're now knocking down the mall, and they're trying to make it more of a strip plaza again. But now the anchors are not stores, they're restaurants. So if you've noticed, all the best quality, if you go to Tyrone's Mall, they knocked down the mall, like half the mall there is now outdoors. So the mall's being progressively knocked down. And I predict that what it's going to be is a lot of stores, because, you want to go for dinner, it's no longer an Amazon experience. You want to sit down with your wife and have some dinner and enjoy some company. So now that you're trying to bring back the entertainment value. Steve Warple says this very, very interesting story, and I love this because it's the kind of thing that hits me. Smaller local hardware stores are coming back, and that's, my goodness gracious, a true statement. I was at the hardware show in Vegas, the Ace Hardware shows, these guys.
Right.
Well, they went down for a dip because I think Home Depot and Lowe's was taking them for a ride, right? But now the trend is coming back. Why? Because when I'm in Home Depot and Lowe's, and don't be offended, I can't get anybody to serve me. I can't. I need someone to help me. You think you think a chainsaw should be in my hands, or I should have a drill in my hands? No way. But I got to fix something. Here I am holding this crap and going, I don't know how to use this, and I don't know what. I was in there buying I know what I was buying. I was buying a flamethrower, a butane torch for Evine. I was up at there, and one of my demos, I wanted to blowtorch something live on television.
Oh yeah.
And so I wanted to buy a blowtorch, and I walked into Home Depot. First of all, I couldn't find the blowtorch section. I had no idea where to find it. No clue. Where do they sell blowtorches? And then when I found the blowtorch, I just found the canister, and I'm going, I can't find the other, I'm sure it's something has to screw on top. I can't find it, right? And then I found somebody, and I go, hey, I'm looking for a blowtorch. And then the guy looked at me and goes, what are you, some terrorist? No, I want to blowtorch something. And of course, he finds the blowtorch, and he goes, get this, if I go to the same spot what I went to, and he can't find the thing. I'm going, what's going on? Somebody has to find the top. So listen, that's nonsense. But the smaller hardware stores now, service is back. Yeah. Right? I love those hardware stores. There's one up on 19 there. You walk in, the guy, first of all, the owner's the proprietor, and he knows, and she knows, the family's running the place. Yeah. They know everything where everything is. Like to the last little screw, they know where it is. And their cat is walking around. I mean, service is back. So the trend in stores now is super service. Right, super service and experience, like restaurants. So the change, that's what's Amazon's, because if you want to buy something without any service, or go to Amazon. But if you still want someone to talk to you, these hardware stores are the place to do it. Mm-hmm. And same thing if you watch Publix, if you watch our grocery store chains, right?
Okay.
You walk into the grocery store chain now. I remember we walked in there. Yep. There's a woman cooking.
Yep.
I go, what's she doing? She's cooking. She's cooking steak. And she's got little broccoli things, and she's handing it out. I go, whoa, hey, I'm hungry. Hands me some dinner. I'm sitting there going, what? This is good. She goes, you want to make that for dinner? I go, yeah, it'd be good. It's right over here. All the ingredients are right here. So what they're doing is the stores are doing super service is back, right? And I think that's kind of cool. Super service is back. And of course, the malls and the brick and mortar stores are in trouble, but they have to reinvent themselves. You still can't, you got to do things that are experienced that you can't get on Amazon. I mean, that's where Amazon lacks. And also warranties. Let me tell you something where I think where I think it's a really poor service. First of all, there's no warranty. I don't know who I'm buying it from, number one. And number two, there's no QA. There's no quality assurance. And I know these big stores have quality assurance, right? There's departments. And you know what else Amazon have? There's no assuring me that I'm going to buy some kind of a knockoff, counterfeit product. And there's a big anti-counterfeit thing going on Amazon because they don't care who sells it or what it is. So all these counterfeiters are going in there and selling what really is a counterfeit and not the real thing. So I think how the brick and mortars are changing. If you're a store, if you're listening to this show, Super Service is back. Oh my goodness gracious, right? Super service and databases. I mean, I went into a restaurant, one of my favorite ones in London.
Okay.
I haven't been there for 2 or 3 years. I walked through the front door. The guy who I can't remember walks up to me and goes, Mr. Jankiris, welcome back. Oh man, let me get the coat for you. On there, hey, listen, that bottle of wine that you love so much, I've saved one for you. Do you still drink that wine? I'm going, what? They remembered everything that I did. Yeah. It was database. The guy wasn't a memory genius. He had a database in front of him, and they were using today's technology to make me feel like a king, right? Yeah, to feel like a king.
You just spend more.
You spend more.
You feel good. You spend more. You have a good time. You'll remember, and you'll go back.
You go back because a human interaction is still king.
No.
Being with people is still king, and I think that's what's happening in today's brick and mortar. If you give the person some human interaction, some real human interaction, use technology to give them super service, right? And know your stuff, for heaven's sakes, if you run a store. That's what's changing in brick and mortar. Amazon hasn't killed it; it's just changing it, and that's the secret. And Steve Werpel's right. Local hardware stores are coming back. There's some selling secrets from here on the My Cool Inventions Network.